We are here the last Sunday in July. And guess what else is here? Summer. It's in full force. It's a hot one, that's for sure. Oh, it's June, it's not July. Well, I guess it feels like July. That's right, last Sunday in June. Okay, but summer is here, that's for sure, it's warm. And we are wrapping up our theme that we have had, which has been spiritual maturity. And today's topic is finding, not seeking. I think many of us, throughout the years, as we grow, we are on that seeking and searching path for something to feed us, to give us something that we feel we're lacking, we're missing. And so we, time and again, will open up another book, and we will open up another podcast, and we will go to church, and we will do all these things to have outside influences to help us find what it is that we can allow ourselves to be happy, to be comfortable, to be at peace with ourselves. We're always looking for that key that will give us what we need. I think when we were children, when we were first born as little ones, they know, they have that innate knowledge of their divinity, of their source, of what they are. Don't really know it probably enough to articulate it and to share it, but they know it innately. And then, as Don McGill Ruiz has pointed out, that we all get domesticated. And we get to learn the ways of society and what is proper and improper, and go along and all of that. And so in that domestication, that spirituality, that essence of our being gets covered up. It gets stymied. And so many times when we are looking for that key, that missing link, we will go searching for not only books and church and whatnot, but we'll decide that maybe if I just buy more. What if I go on QVC and this is what I will need, this little trinket, that'll do it for me. Maybe if I just have another drink, that'll help me. What if I have another piece of chocolate? That'll help me. And we go into these physical things to try to fill that hole in the soul. And that can't be done by external things. As part of my routines in the morning, I say the Lord's Prayer in the Aramaic translation. And one part of it says, don't let surface things delude us, but free us from what holds us back. Don't let surface things delude us. Those surface things are what I just mentioned, those external things. But free us from what holds us back. We have this beautiful, lovely, divine, pristine being within us, and we squelch it. We cover it up. How and why? Because of judgments. This is what I should be doing. I shouldn't have been doing that. You should be doing that. You shouldn't be doing this. And those criticisms and those judgments, time and again, will just put a filter, put a cover over this beautiful, bright light that we are. I wish that we could remember every single day one of Terry Cole Whitaker's sayings. I think it was a book. What you think of me is none of my business. If we could just live from that standpoint. Because actually, you know, in this experience of life, relationships are one of the primary learning tools that we have to bounce back and off of people to learn where we're coming from and to learn where they're coming from. But to do it from that higher self that is knowing, when I look at you, I see the divine. I see that in your soul. So our relationships help us see each other. For how I vision you, I am mirroring what I am. Relationships are important. Many of us have Facebook accounts to keep those relationships active, especially like if you meet people like on a one-time basis, like the Anton conference. We have a lot of ministers that go there and you can see them annually, but boy, if you're on Facebook with them, you can tell what's going on. Many people sign up because they know what their grandchildren are doing and keep track of people at a distance that way. And it was a Friday morning, I woke up and I was checking my email and I had an email from Facebook that someone in Chicago, Illinois had changed my password for my Facebook account at 3 o'clock in the morning. And if it wasn't you, you can go ahead and secure your account. Well, I am not that technically savvy, and I tried to do it. I went in and I did this and that and pushed this button and did this, that asked for this code and da-da-da-da. And no, didn't get it fixed. I've called a friend, that's call a friend. And they couldn't jive on getting it together. And I thought, well, I need somebody to really just show me, standing next to me to do it. And then he was telling me that he has a sister whose account got hacked like that and she never could get it fixed. So I'm thinking, maybe this is a signal, maybe this is a sign. I mean, I've heard some kind of negative things about Facebook lately, and maybe I don't need it, and just live. I know lots of people who live their lives without it, but the thing of it is, I would like to see, because I do post the talk on Facebook, and I've heard people tell me, oh, I've seen your talk on Facebook, and I would like to let them know, well, you can still see it on Alpine Church, spiritualliving.org, or you can see it on YouTube. And but I thought, okay, don't worry about it. If people want to access the information, they'll find it some way or another. But it made me got to thinking, what is my true identity anyway? If they think I'm not me, they think me is somebody else. It's kind of scary, or is it? At this point, I'm almost thinking that I'm going to let it go. As I wrote in the thought for the week, we pride ourselves on being seekers on the spiritual path. Much like riding a carousel and trying to grab the brass ring as we go by, we primarily come up empty-handed. We come up empty in our searching for the one true source, substance, and meaning to life. Feeling that emptiness and longing drive many to seek solace in humanly and events and activities, like what I've been talking about. And I haven't mentioned my little granddaughter, Adeline, in a while. I just wanted to share with you, Adeline is now 3, and I took her to Balboa Park, and the carousel is now open, and the little train is now open. So I got to take her there, just me and her for the first time by herself. And I wasn't quite sure how she'd relate to this carousel, and so I bought one ticket for each of us. Thank you, San Diego, for only charging $3 for a ride on the carousel and on the train. Because, go to the zoo, and my goodness, it's a life event. So I bought 2 tickets, and we got on the fortunately, and I hadn't been on a carousel, I don't know when, but I got on the outside ring, I realized, and that's what I got her on. And I went on the horse in front of her. I strapped her in. I went on the house in front of her. Well, those horses don't go up and down, which I think was a wise thing for the first time. But about halfway through, and it started getting faster and faster, she's like, I want to get off. So I jumped off and went over and stood by her and held her and said, well, we can't get off now. And so then we get off, and she goes, I want to go again. Okay, 2 more tickets. So then I said, let's sit on that. There's like that little seat that rocks back and forth. And so we sat on that, and she got kind of a little scared on that. And so she sat on my lap. So when we got off of that, well, actually, in the meantime, she had to go potty. So then we had to go. She's potty training, you know, so we had to run over to the bathrooms. And anyway, but so then we got to the second one, getting off. I want to go again. Okay, and I think I remember somebody saying, oh, if you buy 10 tickets at first, it's less money or something. But I didn't know. So yeah, we got the tickets again, and then she goes, I want to go in there. And she wanted to go into the center where the guy was operating the equipment. I want to go in there. I'm like, well, we can't go in there. So we found a tiny little horse for her that didn't move. But I noticed that they had the brass ring up there. They weren't utilizing it. But I mean, honestly, that carousel, like 150, how old is it? It was built in 1915? Is that when the exhibition was?
112.
Yeah. So it's old. I mean, you could tell it's old. In fact, when I was sitting on the little seat that moved, I put my foot up on the seat across from me to keep me more solid. And the guy pointed out, he goes, get your foot off of there. You know, that's not good for it. I thought, that's true, it's old. In any event, it's interesting to see life through a child's eyes. You know, well, I want to go in there. How many times do we do that? We want to go in where we're not supposed to go, quote unquote. The brass ring wasn't operating, but it reminded me how many times you go by and you try to grab it and you come up empty-handed. So what we are looking for in life, we are looking with the eyes and the essence and the energy that we are, is wanting to share itself, to relate to all of those around us. For we are God in expression. The unfathomable, the God that cannot be described, that is infinite in every regard. And that's what we are. Infinite in every way. We are the kingdom. We are living in this kingdom right now. There's nothing more that could be given to us. There is nothing lacking. As we've been talking about this month, and we're going to close out this theme, I wanted to just touch again on the spiritual maturity and the levels of it. The first level is that victim level, where everything is happening to me in life. And that second level is the manifester stage, where everything I have the word, and I can, by me, I can have life as I wish it. But the third stage is through me. I am the channel. So we're letting that personality, that individuality, fade back into the background. And the fourth stage is, of course, as me. There's no differentiation. To know that this life is the life of God. This life is residing in me, as me. We want to remember to go inside, turn off the outside, turn off the world, because where we're going to find that pristine being is within us. That kingdom is within already. And we want to feel the presence of it. We want to feel the energy of it. We want to accept its warm embrace. We want to commune with it. We want to know that this is the truth of what I am. We listened to beautiful Kenny Dye sing, I am. That says it in a nutshell. That I am all. There's no greater thing than being God in expression. We've been reading Michael Singer's The Surrender Experiment. And of course, he's been, in his life, he really has emphasized meditation and yoga, and has done it for hours on end every day. And life keeps bringing him things that he didn't expect, he didn't really consciously ask for. It wasn't a manifester stage at all of, yes, this is what I want. Many times it was, heck no, over my dead body. But he kept releasing, surrendering, allowing, and then doing his very best with whatever the situation was that came up for him to do. I'm sure everybody, not everybody, but I'm sure a lot of people had this in their background. My daddy would say, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And to recognize when we can put our whole self into that, recognize that's what we are, that God has put its whole self into this whole life living. And it's pristine, it's perfect. So what we are doing is surrendering and letting go that egoic self that says I'm less than, I'm small, I'm not enough, and just stepping out of it. Because we are finding. We are not seeking. We are knowing. We are trusting that life is giving me exactly what I have need of. Even if I can't see it at the moment. Let me go with it. Let me flow with it. I wanted to share with you Eileen Cady, her reading today. Eileen writes through a channeling process where this is God speaking. Be willing to move forward fearlessly and to pioneer seemingly new ways, new concepts, and new ideas. Be willing to break down old barriers and reveal the light of truth. I say seemingly new because nothing is new. It is a question of moving full cycle, of once again finding your oneness with me, of once again learning to walk and talk with me as it was in the beginning, of being reborn in spirit and in truth. Feel yourself growing and expanding, feeling the old drop away from you and put on the new with joy and thanksgiving. How glorious is that new? How wonderful are my ways? Become consciously aware of me and my divine presence and rejoice, for my kingdom is come. Let my peace and love infill you and enfold you. Lift up your heart in deep love, praise, and gratitude, and be at perfect peace as you go forth this day and do my will and walk in my ways, glorifying me. Does that sound like heaven on earth? It should. We have been called here, I believe, at just this right and perfect time to do God's will, to do God's work through us, through our hands, through our voice, through our actions. So I'm going to leave you with one of my mantras, and you've heard it before, and you can join me if you wish. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know I am God. I love you, beautiful energy. Have a fabulous day. Namaste.